since we're sitting here in Grand Central Station, we might as well have a few questions. I've been preaching to the choir here, I think, but that's okay. Yes, this lady up front.
You mentioned that philosophy, religion is a type of philosophy. Are there any other reason-based philosophies besides objectivism?
The question is, religion is a faith-based type of philosophy. Are there any other reason-based types of philosophy? You know, as a professor of mine, I want to sound like Bill Clinton. I mean, that depends on how we define reason. But this is an important distinction. Yeah, but that is an important distinction in terms of what reason actually means. The proper rational definition of observation-based rationality. As you start with a direct observation of facts, and then you formulate logical, that is, non-contradictory theories to explain the facts. I think you're going to find this predominantly, if not exclusively, in the Aristotelian tradition. Aristotle and Ayn Rand. Other philosophers, certainly claim to use reason. In some senses, they do use reason, but it's very often what Ayn Rand called rationalism. That is deduction without reference to reality. That you start with some high-level abstraction and then you apply rigorously deductive logic to that, not to the facts of observation. So in the true meaning of what reason is, observation-based rationality, no. I don't think, other than the Aristotelian tradition, no. Yes, in the back.
I have a question about religion in the modern world today. If religion is declining and instead people are opting for their own belief system, do you view that as necessarily an improvement in the situation?
The question is, if in the modern world, if religion is declining and people are opting for their own belief systems, presumably secular ones, do I view that as an improvement? Before I answer the question, well, let me check the premise. You know, I've just been reading Dinesh D'Souza's, What's So Great About Christianity? And I strongly recommend it for somebody who wants to, see the modern, defense of what Christianity is. And D'Souza points out, the worldwide resurgence in religion. In the Western world is becoming more secular. But Christianity, the fastest growing religion, is spreading all, in Asia, Africa, and South America. In fact, D'Souza quotes somebody who said, the era of Western Christianity is over. We're entering the period of Southern Christianity. The Southern Hemisphere, where Christianity is growing rapidly, and Islam is also growing rapidly. So you would check that premise as a universal principle. It's true, though, in the West, in Europe and North America. Now, so to answer your question, is this a good thing? Well, it depends what they replace it with. They need some philosophy. The most educated people don't realize that modern Western culture, the Western culture in our day, is dominated by German philosophy, by Kant, Hegel, and Marx. The unholy triumvirate, as I think of it. And I think that what they call the modernist tradition in philosophy, with its political consequence of collectivism, National Socialism, Communism, and Obama, is even worse than religion. So, I think that modern philosophy, proceeding from the German philosophers and leading to not selfless service to God, but selfless service to the state, and leading to the totalitarian state. It's not a coincidence that the totalitarianism, as both a phenomenon and a name, originates in the 20th century, because the religionists, at least in the West, give Christianity a little bit of credit, upholds the individual soul. And so there's some last respect for the individual, in Christianity. You have your own soul. The Christians don't seek to eradicate this individual element in man. The modernists still. And not an accident that National Socialism and Communism originate in Germany, direct outgrowth of Hegel. Not an accident that totalitarianism follows from that, and not an accident that we coined the term totalitarianism. So I think modern German philosophy is even worse. This is why, in the election, I'm voting for Romney. In our country, The Republicans are basically the political wing of Christianity in our day, and the Democrats are basically the political wing of Marxism, the two dominant philosophies. Well, Christianity is not as bad as Marxism. Marxism is even worse. Religion is only the second worst evil of human history. Modern German philosophy and its ethical political consequences is worse. So if they embrace the modernist philosophy, then I think it's a movement from bad to worse. But also, if they reject religion and for secularism, it also leaves open the possibility that they encounter objectivism. And then it's an enormous stuff. Right? So it depends what secular philosophy they adopt. Yeah, on the island.
Yeah, it seems as though also a lot of this void is being filled by what I would call pseudo-philosophy, like, say, for example, Scientology or The Secret and the Law of Attraction and other garbage like this. What's our response to that?
All right, well, he said it seems like religion is being replaced by this pseudo-philosophy, Scientology as an example. Yeah, there's the New Agey mentality it's a form of religion. It says it's not Christianity. It's either Scientology is its own wacky system. I mean, what that human beings are ultimately taken over by aliens from it's a religion. Actually, you know what? If I understand it correctly, and I haven't done much research into Scientology, it doesn't necessarily posit the existence of a transcendent realm. Aliens are like physical beings from physical planets, and it's not necessarily a transcendent God. If so, I'll put it hypothetically, because I don't know much about Scientology. If so, then it's a secular form of insanity. It's a secular form of insanity akin to a religion, but it's not literally religion in the sense of positing a transcendent realm. But the New Agey mentality, is a loose adaptation of Eastern religion. Hinduism. It's a loose. It's a form of religion, whether it's Buddhist in origin or Hindu in origin. So it's just another. It's just another form of religion. And then you hear that from people today who'll say, I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual. What the hell? I'm sorry, what does that mean? And usually what that means is, or very often what that means is, they reject Christianity for some Eastern manifestation of religion. But that's still just another type of religion. Yeah, in the back.
Do you feel like America's march to socialism is by design or based on ignorance of what's happening?
It's a good question. Do I think that America's march towards march is a good word, like goose stepping. Again, is the image that comes to my mind. America's march towards socialism is by design or a matter of ignorance. Both. How's that for an answer? By design on the part of the intellectual leaders and ignorant on the part of the American people. Right? I mean, I think it's no secret that the humanities programs of our universities are controlled by Marxists, who are openly, pushing us towards socialism. The left, in this case, the political, implementation of Marxism and of German philosophy, absolutely desire a socialist state. And Obama is their candidate. Obama is their president. I mean, he's the protege of Saul Alinsky and Bill Ayers and hardcore Marxist ideologues. And the Democratic Party today is just, has become more and more Marxist. So definitely on the part of the intellectuals, and the humanities intellectuals, and the modern contemporary Democratic Party. The American people, I still think, I think they've accepted the mixed economy. I don't think they endorse capitalism as fully as they did in the past. But I think the American people, as a general rule, still prefer the capitalist element to the socialist element. And why I think Romney's not really going to win the election, but I think we're going to see a Republican landslide in a few weeks. I think the American people still, even though they're mixed economy believers, and I think they still generally prefer the capitalist element. They've seen the results of socialism in action over the past 4 years. They've seen it up close and personal, and they don't like it. I remember in the fall of 2008, before the election, I remember talking to a friend. I said, I think Obama is going to win the election. I think the Democrats are going to sweep, they'll control both houses of Congress and the presidency. They will remorselessly push the country towards socialism, and the American people will recoil from it. And so far that's happened. The Democrats did sweep in 08, and they've lost every election since. Right? They lost all four of them, all four key elections. Right? The senatorial election in Massachusetts in January 2010, when Scott Brown, running on an anti-Obamacare platform, won the Senate seat from Massachusetts, a Republican in Massachusetts, taking the seat held by Ted Kennedy for 40 years. Then the midterm elections, November 2010, where the Democrats just got hammered. Then the special election in June of 2011 for Anthony Weiner's seat in New York, Queens, Brooklyn. Republican wins, sending a Republican to the House of Representatives for the first time from that district in 90 years. And then, of course, the recall, the gubernatorial recall election in Wisconsin, where, what's his name, Scott Walker defeated Barrett by a wider margin in the recall than he did, in the original election after taking on the public unions in Wisconsin. And these are indicative of the country's reaction to the Democrats pushing us into socialism. I think we're going to get another indication in a couple of weeks. I think we're going to see a Republican sweep. So it means it'll be slightly less bad than under the Democrats.
Questions?
All right, but we have books for sale in a little while, so thanks, guys. I'll see you.